Ma, okay, ma. Oh, ma, we have been talking about Relational Database Management System, RDBMS. Anyone remembers the full form for RDBMS? Relational Database Management System. Okay, DBMS and RDBMS. Maybe we have gone beyond this. Information is data relating to any particular object or entity. Then database. Databases. We have seen about the types of databases. Hierarchical database is no longer used. It was the first one to be used for data storage, whereas we have now come out of the hierarchical system and we have gone to relational database management system or RDBMS. It was proposed by Edgar Cod. Edgar Cod. Can you repeat? Edgar Cod. Once more. Edgar Cod. Once more. Edgar Cod. It was in 1970 and he created a language along with RDBMS called SQL. SQL. Structured Query Language. We call it Structured Query Language. Once more. Structured Query Language. Once more. Structured Query Language. Okay. Then there are alternate database management systems called OODBMS, Object Oriented Database Management System, or NoSQL, used for social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, Instagram. All those things use NoSQL as the database engine. Then USQL, which is a hybrid. You can use it as RDBMS or use it as NoSQL. It can do both the things. Then, what is a DBMS? How it works? We create tables. We create databases. Inside the databases, we create tables. Among the tables, we create relations. One table is related to another table through some particular column. We call it the key column. We call it the key column. And there are some, what is it? Some columns called key columns. They are foreign keys. They are called foreign keys. And there is one primary key. We will explain it later in detail, whereas you need not bother much about it. You have to simply remember that there are things called databases. Create database. You remember the command, create database, then create table. Do you remember the command? Databases and tables. There are databases. Inside databases, there are some tables. Inside the tables, there are some columns. We enter data for each column and we call it a record. Each row of data is called a record. Then we move on. RDBMS. Each table is related to another through a column called key column. Through a column called key column. Key column. There are two types of keys. One is primary key. The other one is foreign key. The most important one is called the primary key, and the other one is called the foreign key. Each table must have one primary key. Each table must have one primary key. Okay. Okay. RDBMS. Okay, Edgar Card. Then I think we have come up to this. Edgar Card has proposed 13 rules, numbered from 0 to 12. They are called cards rules. They are called cards rules. Cards rules. Okay. There are 13 rules. Okay. Then what are the data models? Relational data model, semi-structured data model, entity relationship model, object-based data model. All these are how we visualize data. Whereas we need not bother about all these things when we work with RDBMS. We bother only about SQL when working with RDBMS. This is all theoretical content. Okay. RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. It relates each column, each table through keys. There are two types of keys. One is the primary key, other one is the foreign key. Primary key, foreign key. Okay, these two manage the relationships. Then entity relationship model. Entity relationship model. Entities are otherwise called objects. And relationships can be created between objects through some functions or constraints. Through some functions. These are called entity relationship model. Entity relationship model. It's similar to what? RDBMS. In RDBMS, we create tables. Whereas in entities, we create entities or objects. Okay. In RDBMS, we have relations. And here also we have relations. Okay. Here also we have relations. Done. Peter Chen proposed this system in 1976. Okay. Then object relational model. Object relational model is an extended version of entity relation model. Okay, it's an extended version of entity relation model. We will be using object oriented programming system when we take up Java. When we take up Java, we will take up RDBMS, object oriented programming, in which each object is perceived to have some properties and methods. Some properties and methods. Okay. This object relational model will relate each object with the other using properties and methods. Okay, then semi-structured model. Semi-structured model does not provide any particular rule. You can use flexible data tables and flexible queries. They are not bothered about your what? SQL or object relational model. Okay. Then popular database engines. Shall we go into these database engines? Oracle is the most powerful database engine available for RDBMS. Oracle is the most popular and the most most trusted database engine. Many of the database servers, banking systems, aircraft ticket booking system, and any sensitive system depends upon Oracle for backend data management. Oracle is the most popular RDBMS. Then Microsoft SQL Server. It's also one of the important RDBMS servers, whereas Microsoft SQL Server is available only for Windows. Okay, it's specific to Windows and its abilities are limited. Limited when compared to Oracle. Oracle is like a what? Like the superstar. And these are to some level they perform. They are some way restricted, whereas the cost of implementing Microsoft SQL may be low. You can implement Microsoft SQL for a lower cost with some compromises. Then IBM DB2. IBM DB2 is one of the costliest database engines. You can call it the costliest database engine. It's not normally available. IBM supports DB2 on mainframe computers. Mainframe computers are made for large companies where thousands of employees share the same computer. They will have a large computer in a room and provide cables for connecting monitor, mouse, and keyboard. Nothing else. One single CPU will support thousands of consoles, monitor, mouse, keyboard combination, and the computer will have DB2, and they have Linux, IBM X. They call it X. X is one version of Unix for running the mainframe computer. Then DB2 is a proprietary system. We cannot buy it. It has got enormous cost. Whereas when we buy DB2, we will be getting ample amount of support. We will be getting good support from IBM. Similarly, from Oracle. Oracle also provides very good support. Whereas they are costly. They charge you very high. Whereas they will provide us with a good level of support. Then Teradata. Teradata is meant for very large data. Tera means kilo, mega, giga, tera, peta. These. Tera means huge amount of data. You can store very huge amount of data very effectively using Teradata database server. Okay. You need not bother about all those intricacies. You simply have to remember that there are some database servers available. The first one is Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, IBM DB2, Teradata. Can you repeat? Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, IBM DB2, Teradata. Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, IBM DB2, Teradata. Even beyond this, there are some database engines. MySQL. We have already used it. MySQL. We call it MariaDB in the free version. MySQL is now owned by Oracle. Then PostgreSQL. PostgreSQL. It's equal to Oracle. It's equal to Oracle, but it's a free database engine. It's equal to Oracle in all aspects. Trusted by many enterprises, whereas it's free. It's free. If you want support, you may pay for support, whereas it's a free database engine. Then MongoDB. MongoDB is a NoSQL database engine. It may be used for social media platforms like WhatsApp, Telegram, Instagram, Facebook, whatever social media platforms we have. We may use MongoDB as a database engine because it will be very fast. Data may be lost. Nobody bothers about loss of data in social media platform. Then SAP ASE. It was Sybase. Formerly it was called Sybase. Sybase Adaptive Enterprise, ASE. Adaptive Server Enterprise. SAP is SAP is no longer. It was one of the most dominant database engines. It has now been superseded by Oracle and IBM DB2. These two are the most common database engines for corporate users, for large level users like banks, ticket booking agents. They depend upon Oracle or IBM DB2. Then Informax. Informax is a NoSQL system. Okay, Informax is the NoSQL system released by IBM. Okay, DB2 is an RDBMS, whereas Informax is a NoSQL system released by ISQL. Then Microsoft Access. It's like Vadivelu. Nanu Raudina, NURS Panne. Microsoft Access says, I'm also RDBMS. You may consider me. Whereas nobody will arrest Vadivelu. Similar to that, nobody will use Microsoft Access as an RDBMS engine. It's for kids. It's for kids. It's not for enterprise. It's for learning purpose. It might be used for learning purpose, whereas it's not a powerful RDBMS engine. Okay. Then SQLite. SQLite. Anybody using Android mobile, Android television, Android or iPhone, iPad, smartwatch, they are unknowingly using this SQLite as a database engine. Your contacts in your mobile phone are stored in SQLite. SQLite is an embeddable database engine and it is available for all platforms including Android, iOS and whatever database platform you name it. Okay. It's used for contact management, scheduling and whatever other tasks they require. SQLite is a small database engine which can be used for data management. SQLite. Okay. With this, we close this. We will not go beyond this. What are the database engines we have seen? Oracle, Microsoft SQL, IBM DB2, Teradata, MySQL, PostgreSQL, MongoDB, SAP ASE, Informax, Microsoft Access, SQLite. I should have provided SQLite prior to Microsoft Access because in the ranking you may call SQLite to be more usable, more of an RDBMS than Microsoft Access. Okay, done. With this, we close theory class. What are the things we have covered today? We have seen that data is stored in the form of tables. Okay, databases contain tables. Tables contain columns. Columns have special columns. A column names called keys. There are two types of keys. One is primary key. The other one is foreign key and primary key. They are related through primary key and foreign key pairs. Okay, Edgar Card was the person who proposed relational database system. Okay, there are 13 rules numbered from 0 to 12 because what? Because of some sentiment in the minds of Westerners that 13 is an unlucky number. Therefore, he named it from 0 to 12 instead of 1 to 30. Now, database models and RDBMS entity relationship model, object relational model, semi-structured model. Then we have seen that there are database engines available for purchase, Some are freely available. Oracle, Microsoft SQL, IBM DB2, MySQL, then PostgreSQL, MongoDB, SAP, ASC, Informix, Microsoft Access, SQLite. Amongst these, we have used MySQL as a database engine for our practical work. Done. With this, we close theory.